Hi there, good morning. It's Elspeth here with DewDrop 4. And this one is has come up sort of in response to this woman, Yolanda Norris Clark, who has created among many other things, a, a program for free birthing. And I'll let the listener do their own due diligence in looking that up as to what that really is and what that really means, as I'm sure it can be explained better by her or others over me. But anyway, in her video, she said that her concern about the traditional programming of nurses and midwives and doulas and birthing assistants, and I would put in there the obstetrics, the entire obstetrics team, and I'm speaking as a former labor and delivery nurse of 14 years. I recently stopped nursing because of the mandates, but I helped women deliver babies, or whatever it was that I did for 14 years. And so I come from a place of knowledge in that, and what she means when she says this statement that I'm going to share. And I'm not quoting her exactly, but her main concern with it was that it created an entire group of people who had normalized witnessing, violent, what would be considered allopathic birth in this day and age. And her argument is that it is tantamount to abuse and assault of the birthing woman and the child too. And I must say that I agree fully with that statement. I've been at a number of beautiful births, happy births as well, even in the hospital. However, I'm sure they could have been much better outside of the hospital. And I'm not going to get into the specifics of anything. I'm just here to kind of unpack that statement a little bit, because it really, it wasn't even what her video, I think, was intended to be about, but it was just this, well, maybe it was. I'm sorry, I shouldn't speak for her. But, and I'll try and link to it. But that really hit me hard, that statement, because it's very true. It's very true. And there's this whole element of, well, there was consent given, and this is how it's done, and it's just accepted, so broadly accepted, that to even bring this into someone's field of awareness is most people won't be able to handle it. But this group of people is not only midwives, doctors, doulas, nurses. Nurses is a big one, but it's also the patient's family, the husbands in particular. I can attest to this in my own personal experiences of birth, as well as that as a professional. But having to stand by and witness oftentimes violent and unwanted measures in which a woman may be crying out for them to stop, and yet there's nothing that he can do or he perceives that there's nothing that he can do to stop what's being done to his wife. That is a serious mind F right there. And that's just one perspective. I mean, there's other perspectives of individuals that will be in the room during a delivery in the hospital, probably, or at home sometimes too, but mainly at the hospital where there's serious intervention happening. And also that from my perspective, it's very ritualistic. I mean, just if you delve into what that means, just ritualism, what is a ritual? Something that is like done in order, or like the same way roughly every time. It's like a series of actions that are taken that is repeated in response to anything, a situation, an outcome, a desired outcome. And, you know, one has to wonder what this really is, because this is serious initiation into life for the child. This has lasting impacts on humans, on babies, on women, on husbands, on siblings, on grandparents, on doctors, on nurses, on all these people. So I guess what I'm saying is looking into free birth versus an allopathic birth. Free birth and Yolanda Norris Clark and her free birth movement, I'm going to call it a movement, is something I'm interested in, and I'm going to look into further at my own pace. And I realize it's not for everyone. I realize that, you know, the majority of people have no idea what I'm talking about, and just are grateful for the care that they get in the hospital. And I'm not saying that there isn't other care that you can get in a hospital that isn't, that I'm not thankful for. I'm just saying, in general, the whole ritual that is obstetric allopathic birth that's happening now every day, it should cause more pause and reflection into, and its impacts. You know, like things like Michael Tessarian is a good example of someone who speaks to the impact of infantile and embryonic experiences and their psychiatric outcomes. And just knowing that that's a thing, just admitting that that's a thing, is huge. And many won't be able to do that. And I'm coming from a place where I didn't think that that was a thing too for a while. But as with many other things, I am changing my tune. But, you know, to a certain extent, in my defense, I've always, the only reason why I ever got into obstetric nursing was because I wanted to be, I think, in the spirit of Ina May Gaskin, a spiritual midwife. And that never happened for me. I know there's still time, but so it's a subject that is near and dear to my heart, and it has been for a long time. And I really appreciate Yolanda Norris Clark and the work that she's doing, and the people that help her. I know there's many others around her. There's not just her, but all right, sorry, that's about 10 minutes. I know that's a little long for a DewDrop. Thank you, and have a great day.